Hello, Rivermont family. I'm Randy Davey. I'm a ruling elder at Rivermont, and I'm going to share with you today's devotional. I'm going to have an opportunity to share a devotional on the Lord's humbling, which is always a fun thing. The Lord brought together a couple of passages to teach me a lesson. I was grumbling about having to go to church wearing a mask, having to go to church with only a few people spread out over several pews, and wishing that it was the way it had been, with a full crowd singing loudly and joyfully together to the Lord. And I was fussing with myself about this hardship, and the Lord brought a couple of passages together to help me learn a lesson. The first was from Ephesians. Studying Ephesians has so much about the church and about what God is doing in the church, and the verses at the end of chapter 1 particularly struck me. Ephesians 1 verses 22 and 23 say, "And he, that is God, put all things in subjection under his," that's Christ's, "feet, and gave him as head over all things to the church, which is his body, the fullness of him who fills all in all." What an amazing description of the church. The fullness of him who fills all in all. What an amazing gift. What a privilege to be the church. It's a description almost beyond measure of what God has done for us and is doing with us and will do with us. And I thought to myself, this is such a privilege. This is such an honor to be part of the church, to be able to meet together. And at the same time as I was thinking about these things, I was also reading in 2 Kings chapter 5. It's a very well-known story. We learned it in Sunday school as children. It's a story of the Syrian general who had leprosy. And a captured Israelite slave girl tells him that there's a prophet in Israel who could cure him of his leprosy. And so he goes to the king, and the king writes to the king of Israel this letter saying, "Please heal my general from leprosy." And of course, the poor king of Israel has no idea of how he's going to do that. But then he's told about the prophet who could heal him. And so this Syrian general, Naaman, is sent to the prophet Elisha. And the book of 2 Kings says, "So Naaman came with his horses and his chariots and stood at the doorway of the house of Elisha. Elisha sent a messenger to him saying, 'Go and wash in the Jordan 7 times, and your flesh will be restored to you, and you will be clean.' But Naaman was furious and went away and said, 'Behold, I thought, he will surely come out to me and stand and call on the name of the Lord his God and wave his hand over the place and cure the leper. Are not Abana and Pharpar, the rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? Could I not wash in them and be clean?' So he turned and went away in rage. Then his servants came near and spoke to him and said, 'My father, had the prophet told you to do some great thing, would you not have done it? How much more then when he says, wash and be clean?' So he went down and dipped himself 7 times in the Jordan, according to the word of the man of God. And his flesh was restored like the flesh of a little child, and he was clean." And I thought to myself, wouldn't we all, if we were living in one of those places where the church was persecuted, and we had to sneak into a secret basement meeting of the church in order to find fellowship, in order to be with the people of God. If God asked us that great thing, wouldn't we do it? Wouldn't we rejoice in those minutes together? And here I am, whining and moaning because I have to wear a mask to church. Surely, if God asked me to do this great thing, I would do it, because of the privilege of being part of that which is the fullness of Christ. And so without complaining, cheerfully, thankfully for this wonderful gift of gathering with the people of God. I'll put my mask on this Sunday and I'll go and sit 6 feet apart and I'll wave to everybody with thankfulness to God in my heart that I can be with my brothers and sisters. I can sing praises to Him. I can rejoice with Him, and I can hear His word preached. What a wonderful blessing. And I hope to see many of you there. God bless you and keep you and make His face shine upon you and draw you close to His people in this time.